Joe here from Groove Studio. Welcome back. In this lesson we're going to be learning to play a G major chord on guitar. To play a G major chord on guitar, we're going to start with the middle finger on our fretting hand and place it on the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3, of the E string. Our index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, E, A. Ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, E, A, D, G, B. And pinky finger tucked in underneath that ring finger on the high E, E, A, D, G, B, E. You want to have your thumb roughly on the other side of the neck, on the back of the neck, to where your index and middle finger sit. Your wrist should be in a relatively neutral position. You don't want to have it stretched right out like this. As long as you're not pushing right out that far, you're all good. You can have a bit of a bend in the wrist just to get the angle in these fingers, that's okay. And your arm could be hanging relatively loosely. I tend to tuck, for a lot of these chords, I tuck my left arm, my elbow in towards the neck of the guitar, so my arm is pretty much in line with the neck. I find that makes it easier to get these chords. With your thumb, you can have it wrapped over the top. Some people play like this, holding the neck like a baseball bat, that sort of thing. You can also place it on the back of the neck. You find what's most comfortable for you. So once you've got those fingers in the right place, the next step is to make sure that each of these fingers are pressing down hard enough on the strings that the strings touch the frets with enough pressure that they ring out cleanly. If you're not pressing down hard enough, you're going to have either a dead note or you're going to have fret buzz. So press down harder on each of those fingers until the notes ring out clearly. It can help to get the tips of the fingers right up behind the fret. The closer the fingers are to the fret, the less pressure you need to press the strings down. If you're pressing down nice and hard on those strings and you're still finding the chord sounds a bit like that, with some dead notes, the problem here is probably that these two fingers, your middle and index fingers, are laying across the strings. So the trick here is to bring the palm of your hand up towards the neck and shift the angle of these fingers so you're not pressing down right on the very tip of the finger. It's almost on the outside of the finger, on the thumb side of the finger. So instead of them being like this, they roll over. So you see what my wrist does here? It comes underneath the neck and it rolls these fingers onto the outside of the finger. And that's going to allow you to keep these fingers away from the neighbouring strings. So instead of it muting the strings like that, these fingers are allowing plenty of room for the neighbouring strings to ring out. These two fingers, the ring and the pinky, try and tuck them together. You can kind of tuck the pinky finger underneath the ring finger. It makes it easier to press these two down if they're working as one unit as opposed to trying to press those down separately. It's a lot easier if you keep those two together. You shift them right up, both behind the fret there. It's a G major chord on guitar.